Hey guys, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be picking my September TBR with a little bit of a library haul. So last month when I did my TBR, I actually took a trip to one of my local library branches and just picked a few books off the shelf, things that I thought I would enjoy that I hadn't necessarily been planning to read. And I thought it would be fun to do the same thing again this month. So I'm super lucky that there are a lot of libraries in the area that I live in. I think that the city I live in has like 40 branches or something like that. And then there are several other libraries that I also have cards at because they have reciprocal agreements, and I am extremely lucky. So I thought that this month I would go to a different library, show you a glimpse of one of the other branches. This one's actually within the same system in Kentucky that I went to last month. So check out that video if you want to see that library. But right now, let's go ahead and go to a different branch.
Shipwreck in the dark, far from the harbor, far from the start. In a storm, I lost my sails, I lost all direction, caught in the veil. I didn't know love till you found me. I didn't know love, lost in the sea. I didn't know love till you found. I didn't know love till you set me free. Didn't know love. Didn't know love. She was sinking, falling fast, so I abandoned ship, held on the mast. In the ocean, wild and loud, I was just waiting, I was drifting out. I didn't know love till you found me. I didn't know love, lost in the sea.
All right, so I am back and I do have my bag with all of my library books in it. And I'm going to show you the books that I picked out at the end of the video. I do have 4 books in the library haul, so I'm pretty excited to show you all those. But before I do that, we're going to just do some normal TBR stuff for me. So I like to use a TBR jar, if you haven't been here before. And the TBR jar has a bunch of prompts in it that are hopefully going to encourage me to choose books that have either been on my library list for a long time or have been sitting unread on my physical shelves that you can see behind me. We'll see. I generally read somewhere between 10 and 14 books a month. I did get 4 books at the library, so our goal is going to be to choose 8 books from the jar and see what we get. I can put back 1 prompt if I'm just not feeling it. I'll let you all know I have been in the mood to read things that are very serious lately. So we'll see. We'll see what we get in the jar. But I am pretty excited to get started and to see what I'm going to be reading as we move into fall. I have 2 arcs that I need to get onto this list, and if I can't, I will add them on at the end. But let's go ahead and get started with my first draw. All right. And we have red cover. I'm not going to hold all these up for you, but it says red cover. So let me see what I have, and I'll come back with some choices. All right, so I'm back, and I have decided on what I'm going to read, and that is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquill Blackgoose. This is a young adult book about a magical school for people who bond to dragons, I believe, is the idea of it. And I've heard really great things. This is young adult, I believe. And I know the sequel is coming out really soon. And again, I've just seen a lot of people like super highly recommending it specifically to me, that they thought I would like it. So I'm going to try this and see how I feel about it. But I'm pretty excited to give it a try. All right, and we're going to do our second pick. And we have Multiple Timelines. Okay, so I am going to cheat a little bit probably because I don't specifically know what the time aspect of this book is, but I do have an arc this month that I am going to be reading. That is the second book in the Hexologists series by Josiah Bancroft. This one is the Hexologists, A Tangle in Time, I believe. And I know it has to do with time travel. So one assumes that there are different timelines. So if it doesn't have multiple timelines, then I apologize later, but I am so excited to read this. I absolutely love the first book. The married couple who are the detectives in this fantasy mystery hybrid book are just absolutely adorable together. And Josiah Bancroft is an amazing writer, and it's also quite funny. So I'm really excited to read this one this month, and I'm going to put it on my list. All right, book number 3. Oh, I got 2. Okay, now we have 1. This one is a book club read. Okay, so I am not technically in any book clubs right now. I sometimes join a book club, but I'm not in one right now. So I'm actually going to pick for this the book that my partner Sean is reading for his book club, which is the Patreon book club over at Good Books Lately. We'll link their channel down below. They are reading A Witch's Heart, or The Witch's Heart. Yes, it is The Witch's Heart, and it is the story of a witch who falls in love with the trickster god Loki. It is a mythological retelling about Norse gods, and that's really all I know about it. But when he said that's the book that they picked, I was like, that has been on my TBR since it came out. So I will try to see if I can get to it this month, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it looks really good. Next we have, let's see. Oh my gosh, stuck together. Stuck together. Try again. Rough those. Let's see. We have a detective story. Excellent. So while I have many, many detective stories in my TBR, I think the one that I'm going to choose is actually going to be the next book in the Thursday Murder Club series. And that book is The Last Devil to Die. And I really love the Thursday Murder Club series. And there is another book coming out soon. And last month I read the third book, The Bullet That Missed. And I think that I just really need to continue with these characters right now. I just had a really great time with it. And it does feel like a very fall-like kind of thing to me to read a detective story. So I will put that as the Thursday Murder Club. All right, so book number 5. And it's going to be Ghosts. Well, isn't that just perfect for the beginning of fall? All right, let's pick a ghost story. All right, so for this one, for Ghosts, I'm going to be picking my other advanced reader copy that I have, and that is What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher, the third book in the Sworn Soldiers series. This is one of my favorite kind of creepy, scary novella series. and they have amazing covers, as you can see. And this one, our kind of detective hero, Alex, is going to be going to the United States, to Appalachia, to investigate a haunted coal mine. Sounds like a ghost to me. And maybe it'll actually be a ghost. It'll probably be a ghost. So I'm really excited to read that. I've been waiting all year for this book to come out. It's one of my most anticipated books. So really excited to tell you all what I think about it. Book number 6. And this one says classic, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat a little bit on classic, and I'm going to try to choose a classic fantasy. And what does that mean? It just means not new. A classic fantasy, that because I've really been craving a classic fantasy, and I already know one that I want to read that I was hoping to get on this list. So the book I am planning to read is Daughter of the Empire by Janny, Wurts, and Raymond E. Feist. This book was published originally in 1987, which I realize is not classic, but it's got, look at the cover. Look at the cover. The cover, that is the classic fantasy cover. So that is what we are going to go with. I have never read anything by either one of these authors, and I've seen this specific trilogy recommended for having a really great, strong female main character. So I'm very excited for that. And the other good thing about this book is that it is 421 pages, which is basically a novella for fantasy. So especially the start of a series. So I am really excited to read this one. I don't know that much about it, but I have seen so many really high recommendations. And again, it's written by 2 authors, neither one of which I have read anything from before. So Daughter of the Empire is going to be my pick for historical classic fantasy. We're fudging things, but it's my jar. I can do what I want. All right, I'm going to choose 2 more out of here. And I had to think about it. I got Quest, which I think just means fantasy because you're going to be on a quest in a fantasy, right? Right. And I also just remembered that I have another arc that I forgot about that I need to read this month, and that is The Second Death of Locke. This is a story about a female knight who is kind of like bonded to a mage. I don't exactly understand how that works yet. And it is a little bit of a romantasy, I think. It also has an A+ cover. I've been hearing some really good things about it, and I'm just really excited to try it out. And let's hope they go on a quest. But have you ever seen a fantasy with no questing? There's always questing. There's gonna be some questing. So we're gonna count that one, especially because I nearly forgot it. All right, we have one more haul before the library haul, and it's going to be Water on the Cover. So let me go see what I can find that has water on the cover. All right, and I have made my pick, and it is a book that I'm really excited to read, and that is Ocean's Godori by Elaine Cho. I'm going to show you all the cover. It is very reflective what she is standing in, and I think that it is water. So you all can argue that it's not, but I'm pretty sure it's water. So this is a fairly new release. It has got a Korean descended crew and main character, which is something different, I think, for a science fiction novel. And I really love that. So I'm really excited to read that. And it has a fantastic cover. Space opera adventure, found family, spaceship-based crew, into it. I don't really need to know a lot else. I mean, this was a cover buy for me because I love the cover so much, but I am hoping it's going to be great because I've heard so many good things about it and I'm so excited to read it. So I'm really glad I got some water on the cover, and that is water. Don't tell me it's not, it's water. All right, so now it is time for us to look at the books that I picked up at the library. So I went to the main branch of the Kenton County Library. So this is the main branch of the library. It is quite large, but it's not, I don't think, the largest branch of that county's libraries. The library I went to last month was also part of that same system, and it was, I think, a little bit larger and kind of more out in the suburbs. This one, I will say, has the best selection of new releases. They just have rows and rows and rows of new releases. They do let you keep new releases for 2 weeks, and then you can renew them if nobody asks for them, which usually nobody does. But if they do, I'll take it back. But I'm going to show you the 4 books that I picked up. And some of them are seasonal. Some of them are less so, but they are all books that I am really excited to read this month, that I was really excited to find. And they were all in the new release section. I did go and look through the science fiction section. This is one of those libraries that separates out science fiction, but not fantasy. So there is a section that's just science fiction, and then all the fantasy and horror and everything else are just mixed in with general fiction, which I kind of hate. Because where's that line? There were a lot of books in the science fiction section that I was like, that's not science fiction. And then stuff that I thought should have been in science fiction that was in general fiction. And it was just, it's not my favorite way to organize a library, but I can see why they do it though. But it's not my favorite. So I picked up all these from the new release section where everything is just kind of all together. And we're going to start out with a scary book because we are getting into fall and I'm so excited for it. And I have heard a lot of really good things about this book, you guys. So tell me if you've read it. It is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. And I have heard that this is a really, really scary book. It says, one night, Jess, a struggling actress, finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could have ever imagined, and that when the wolf finally comes home, no one will be spared. Sounds very creepy. It sounds perfect for fall, which we are coming up on, although it's still like 90 degrees outside, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And I've just heard like super good things about this. So I was really excited to see this one on the shelf. I was expecting there to be a wait for this, but sometimes, physical books, people get ebooks. I read a lot of ebooks, but there's not quite the wait for physical books. So I was excited for that one. And then the other kind of like seasonal book that I got, I have not seen anyone talk about it. I did see it go up on NetGalley as an ARC when it was first up, and I thought about asking for it, but I didn't. And I may not like it because it may be too cute for me, but I don't know. It looks adorable. It's called An Ancient Witch's Guide to Modern Dating by Cecilia Edward. I'm going to show you all the cover. Look at the cover. Look, there's a cat. And this looks really cute. It is about a 39-year-old witch in the 17th century who is having a difficult time finding a husband, basically, despite the help of the local matchmaker and an arsenal of love potions. But when one of her potion brews backfires and she's hurled more than 300 years into the future, landing in a bustling city, she must learn to navigate the 21st century and, dare we say, perhaps fall in love, and she dives headfirst into online dating. And I read like a little bit of the beginning because I was like, I don't know, but it looks real cute, like so cute, which is not a thing I'm necessarily into, but I don't know. The idea of this one just like appealed to me. So I picked that up. We're gonna give it a try this month. I reserve the right to DNF. It also has like lavender sprayed edges. Ooh. These next 2 books are not nearly as cute and fluffy, especially this next one. So this is a long book. And I'm going to preface it by saying that I have read previous books by this author and I did not like them. But I didn't like them because I didn't like the main character in his previous series. And it ruined the series for me because I didn't like her so much. So I've seen good things about this new release. So I picked it up, and it is Grave Empire by Richard Swan. And so his other series is, I think it's The Empire of the Wolf or something like that. And it follows like a magistrate, like a judge who travels the land and passes judgment on things. And that's a really, really cool idea. But the POV character in that book is his like teenage clerk. And I just didn't get along with her. So I didn't read the whole series. I read the first book and a half. I read half the second book, and then I just DNF'd it. But this one is set in the same world, but in a very different time period. We're following different characters. And so I'm going to give it a try. And I've heard it's more like fantasy horror too, which I think feels a little bit seasonal at least. It says it is a bloodthirsty new fantasy series set in an empire undergoing an industrial revolution where sorcery and arcane practices are outlawed and where an ancient prophecy warns of the coming end of days. And it looks like our main character is Renata Rainier, a low-ranking ambassador to an enigmatic and vicious race of mermen. I didn't expect the merman, but I read a little bit of the first chapter just to see if it looks like something I would like. And as I said, I loved the writing in the first book. I just didn't like the characters. So I'm going to give this one a try. If you've read it, let me know. Tell me what you thought. And now we have one more book. And this last one just came out either last month or at the beginning of August. I can't remember. I did it in one of my videos, my preview videos, but I can't remember. It's actually a traditional publish of an originally self-published book, and it is Artificial Wisdom by Thomas Weaver. I'm going to try to show you the cover. The shininess always gets me with these. So this is a movie. This is a book about artificial intelligence. And it is about either my neighbors are setting off fireworks or something blew up. So good, this is the last book. So this is about an artificial intelligence that is running for president, among other things. It's about conspiracies and AI. It's futuristic science fiction. I've heard really, really great things about it. And this is something that I personally am very into right now. Artificial intelligence, the dangers of it, and the ways that it could go wrong. I'm really into it. So I am looking forward to this one. I don't know that much about it. Like I said, beyond the AI and AI president stuff, but it sounds really good. And that is my entire TBR. So I don't know. I'm going to try to remember what I chose. It's been chaotic. So we had red cover. I chose To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquill Blackgoose. Multiple timelines. I chose The Hexologists, A Tangle in Time. I don't actually, Josiah Bancroft, I don't actually know if there's any timelines, but we're going with it. Book club read, I chose A Witch's Heart, which I'm very excited about. Detective novel, we are doing the next book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and then I will be caught up at least until the next one comes out. Ghosts, we are doing What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. This is the third book in the Sworn Soldier series, and I am so excited to get to it. Classic, we chose Daughter of the Empire by Janny Wurts and Raymond E. Feist. Cannot wait to sink my teeth into that one. And Quest, we had The Second Death of Locke, which is I just want to show the cover again because it's so pretty. And then the last one from my TBR jar I had was Water on the Cover, and I chose Ocean's Godori by Elaine Yu Cho. And so excited for that. And then my 4 library books that I picked up were Artificial Wisdom, Grave Empire, The Ancient Witch's Guide to Modern Dating, and When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. So a lot of stuff here. We've got fantasy, sci-fi, and horror, and a little bit of romance. Who even am I? And I'm pretty excited to get started on this. I still have a couple books probably to read for the end of this month, and then I'm just going to go all in on my September TBR. And I will be back to tell you all what I thought of everything. I do update videos every Monday where I tell you what I've been reading and what I'm planning on reading next, and give you my kind of casual thoughts as I work my way through the month. So if you are interested in finding that out, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Please leave me a comment. let me know what you're planning on reading in September, or if you have any comments on any of these books that I read here, any of my choices, please let me know what you think. If you've read them, I would love to know. I'm just going to keep holding this one up for some reason. Let's pick a different one. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this slightly chaotic TBR process today. I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.